This morning we're talking about SOS. But you won't need your shagging shoes or your life preserver. Meet Dr. Bill Davis coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Johnny Rockets at Broadway at the Beach. We're focused on SOS Healthcare, and we're visiting with its founder and director, Dr. Bill Davis. Good morning, Dr. Davis.
Good morning, Greg.
What about these seats here at Johnny Rockets?
Great place.
Pretty comfortable.
Takes me back.
Early on a Friday morning. That's right. You said that before we started up here to have that setting here.
Back to my teenage years. I was in a place like this on Friday nights if I could get a date.
Was that tough in high school?
Yes, it was.
Oh, come on now.
Yes, it was.
I think I saw in reading a little about yourself that you've been married to the same woman since, is it 1962?
Yeah, it's the 44th year this year.
Is that right? So you got a date and just stuck with it.
Right. 45th.
45. That's right. You got to be careful. Yeah.
I gotta remember that.
On camera. Get that right.
Yeah, I couldn't have done anything I have done without my dear wife, Elaine. Been behind me all the time. Not pushing me so much, but hanging on, maybe.
That's a great thing. We hear folks say that often, and I know my dad says the same thing. He couldn't have done half of what he done without what he has done without his wife.
When you're out in the world doing stuff, somebody's got to take care of the base camp. And she does that, and she comes in whenever I need her. Right now, she's quitting her favorite coffee to try our new coffee that we're selling through one of our programs. So she does what she can. And our home is full of dogs. And that is part of our SOS work now, too. Dogs for Autism. And she's turning over her home to it. And she's spending 24/7 raising puppies.
You're kidding.
Yeah. So you see, it goes on and on.
I think I saw in your quarterly or semi-annual newsletter, maybe that's a monthly newsletter, the piece about the dogs for autistic, not only for autistic children, but for adults as well, or principally just autistic children?
Mostly children, but some adults, yes. We've got a 19-year-old now getting ready to hope to get a dog. The problem is there are no dogs trained and available, and so we're addressing that issue, and we're breeding dogs for autism, and we're training dogs for autism right now, because there's just tremendous numbers of people with autism now. It's an epidemic, 1 in 150 births, number one birth defect in the world now. 10 years ago, 1 in 10,000. Now it's 1 in 150. It's an epidemic, and we've got to provide the services. And one of the things, it needs a dog. And it takes 2 years to get a dog ready to be placed. Right. So it's a 2-year effort, and we've got 10 people in Horry County wanting dogs right now. There's no hope for them until we get stuff going. The dogs are a partner and a playmate and a special friend for these kids who are alone. Socially, they're isolated from the world, and the dog makes a difference in a lot of cases. Not always, but a lot of cases. So, assistant dog, just like for the blind, we've got dogs for autism. Just started a few years back.
I don't think I understood the extent of the epidemic there with autism. Sarah Pope, is one of the co-founders with many families here locally of the Autism Advocate Foundation, was with us last Tuesday. And we were filming down at South Carolina Bank and Trust, and another amazing recent foundation. They just got founded, I believe, just last year.
4 mothers with children with autism founded this organization, and it is the most vital organization I have seen lately in this country. These women are go-getters, and they're doing good stuff.
Wow.
And SOS is joining them. We'll come along, just like I say, my wife is behind me hanging on. Well, I'm kind of hanging on to those ladies from AAF right now. They're really, truly.
I was so fascinated to see in the founding of SOS back in '89 that at least 4, if not more, nonprofits have spun off from y'all's founding in '89. Care Team, one of them.
Exactly.
Of course, the Shared Care, the Senior Peer Counseling, and the Children's Center Cedar Branch. An incredible testament to you. Now, was that a testament to your vision back then? Did you imagine ever that you would help jumpstart those nonprofits?
They all came in different ways. The one with Care Team was that we went to McLeod Regional Hospital, and they said, we've got to get HIV care for 9 counties. McLeod Hospital said, no, we can't do it. It's only 5% from the government goes to run the operation. We can't afford that. And they looked at us and me and half-time secretary. We started the 9-county HIV program because there was no one else to do it. So that's the way that happened. And the money came to clinics and to help, and it's still going on through Care Team today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
and they started in a different way. Shared Care started with Doug Wendell calling me and saying, "What happens if you die to help folks who are sick?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Well, we're going to work on something." So he got people to the table, and Shared Care is now the program.
Shared Care is a tremendous group.
Shared
Absolutely.
Shared Care is absolutely phenomenal and doing so much more than we could as SOS, getting federal, state monies, and getting Duke Endowment money and lots of resources that we couldn't get as an individual entity. But we have everybody involved in the medical delivery to the poor on our board. The CEOs of all the hospitals and of the college and of the school district, and everybody. We have all those folks. Transportation, everybody's on board with us, the community health center. So we then, with that coalition, can draw in money to make it happen. And we're serving more than 3,000 people right now.
Is
on the
that
board.
right? Are you? Have you stayed on in some fashion? You stayed
I'm
on as a board
executive
member
committee
for the different groups?
on
Right.
each of them.
Right.
I'm no longer on Care Team. I did that for 3 years.
Right.
They don't need me anymore at all. But Shared Care, I don't know if they need me or not, but I'm still there for 5 years now.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm on the other boards, just to keep the continuity going, and also maybe sometime to give them a little lift and support.
Sure,
Different
sure.
things they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
it's
that's
nice not to have to do it all.
Sure. No, that's right. I mean, to think about what you all have done over the last, if a viewer needed to get off to school right now or off to work, obviously a lot of folks are running out the door. What's the best number? If someone wanted to learn, and I know we're going to talk more about AAF and much of what y'all kicked off earlier this week, but what's a good number for someone to learn more about SOS Healthcare?
449-0554.
Okay.
That's the best number to do it. That's the number I answer when I'm there. Right now, I'm not there this Friday.
Right. Absolutely.
Most times I am. I'll answer.
And y'all have a great-looking website, the SOS-healthcare.com.
All donated to us.
Is that right?
Yes. And we're hoping to upgrade it because that's an important issue today when we're serving on the dogs parts for Carolinas. Folks can contact us by web. Our newsletter, which goes out to a lot of local
Right.
folks, is not the way to go for 2 states. So we're now involved in 2 states with our dogs for autism.
Golly, well, we sure want to talk more about that. But real quick about yourself, Dr. Davis. And do you normally go by Dr. Davis, or you just simply Bill?
Well, folks still call me Dr. Davis, but I'd rather be Bill, just plain Bill.
Right.
I do very little today that has to do with my degree. I just really don't have time to see patients. I saw one this morning. I don't normally have any time.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You know, when we think about what brought you to the Myrtle Beach area, was there? Had you been thinking about Myrtle Beach for a long time? Did you grow up here in the area?
Elkin, North Carolina, where I grew on 4th of July, they closed down Chatham Blankets, and everybody who could afford it went to Myrtle Beach. That was the whole town just evacuated, all of us that could afford it. So I love Myrtle Beach. I was in Vietnam. I called out of my training, and I talked to a surgeon there, and I said, "You know anything about Myrtle Beach?" I said, "Yes, I know a person." So I wrote Holmes Springs. And Holmes Springs was doing all the urology here then, and I said, "Holmes, I'd like to come there." He said, "You come, we'll build you a room, and you can take it." He gave me his whole practice. As soon as I got finished training, I came to Myrtle Beach, and I love the place. It's been a great place to raise our family.
Oh yeah, sure.
And we did enjoy those nice winters, though, a few years ago when it got so quiet after Labor Day. Us locals,
Right.
But we know we gotta grow.
Got to give in.
When we came here, there were 3 houses that we had to choose from to buy on the whole Grand Strip.
Oh, come on.
I'm not kidding you. 1971, there were 3 houses. There were all the houses that were offered.
Wow.
One we couldn't afford. One was that they said, "You don't want to live there."
Yeah.
And one we had to build. I slept in my office till somebody builds a house in 3 months, and we're still living in the same house.
No.
Patient that built it was a patient when I was in training. He said, "Oh, you were there?" I said, "Yeah." And he didn't believe me. He said, "I'm going to build you a house. I'll second mortgage it." And he did everything right. Dick Gerald, a wonderful gentleman who's now gone.
Right.
Wonderful people here, all through have helped put together what's we now call SOS Healthcare. I didn't do it by myself. Our mission statement is to to partner with our community.
You've had a tremendous cadre of volunteers over the years.
Doctors,
Sure.
pharmacists. One time, on one day, we trained 150 volunteers to sign up people for Medicaid in the schools. One day, we had 150 people sitting down. I was training them, and they went in a week and they signed up 1,500 people for Medicaid.
In one day?
In one day, we trained them, and they went in for 3 days.
Right.
And they were registering
Oh, yeah.
at schools, and they trained 15. They enrolled 1,580 some people into Medicaid that were eligible but did not have it. So that's the max. One day, we had 100 people up at Cedar Branch putting a building up, and that's really hard when you got a 1,200 square foot building to have.
Right, sure.
But they were spread everywhere, and you ought to see them. They wrote the building in one day. Was a roof on it. The roof started on it. And the sides were up and roof on it. And it was an amazing thing to see. And then we had the Extreme Day of Caring, Maximum Makeover, something that United Way did.
Right.
And they came up there with 150
Oh, yeah.
people.
Oh, yeah. I remember
And what
reading
a
about that.
Beautiful thing they did for us.
All
Yes, they
locals,
gave.
absolutely.
So I'm saying the community.
Right.
Don't. If I hadn't been in this community, if I'd been in Williamsburg County somewhere in a small town, I would not have had the resources. I would not have had Chapin Foundation,
Right.
Ocean View Foundation,
Right.
the United Way the way it is here. Those are our big three.
There are still groups, Duke Endowment and otherwise, that would have found you, or you would have found them. I mean,
Duke
there's
Endowment
still
finally found us when
Right.
they built that building about
Sure.
5 years ago.
Sure.
But it took
But it-
12 years.
Right.
And they might have, yes.
Yeah, but it's tough to know. I mean, it's tough to know.
I
if
feel
they-
so
you ever-
blessed to be
Right, sure.
part
sure.
of this community.
But you felt a calling at some point. I mean, you would have had a calling whether you're in Williamsburg or in Forsyth or up in Chatham or even down here. You would have had a similar calling to get something started.
My mother probably started me on looking to share
Is
with
that
folks.
right?
But
Yeah.
I was here one day and somebody said, "I want you to come to this house and see this old couple. They have no health care and see how they're living." And this person, Jerry Llewellyn is his name. He came and took me into this home, and I looked at it and saw they had no health care, nothing. He said, "We're starting a little clinic over here called Friendship Clinic. I wonder if you'd help us." And I started that. Then I found out that wasn't enough because I was too tied up with my busy practice in
Right.
urology to do much. And so then I stayed on with Friendship House, and I'm still a supporter of them, but I started something to complement and complete what they were doing because
Right.
2 hours once a week or twice a week was not doing it for folks. And so that's the way it started. Another individual came to me and showed me a door, and I opened the door and went through. And maybe I've opened the door for a few people,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
And you attribute a little bit of that, though, to your mom.
Yeah,
From an
a little bit
early
to my mom.
stage. Did you have brothers and sisters, Bill?
Yeah, I have a sister who lives in Sumter.
Right.
I attribute it all to God. My mom showed me God too, but she also showed me you must share. You must share in this world. You know, I think the problem we have today so often is that people are not taught to give. They're not taught to give. I learned that in my church from a while, but so many people aren't. They just don't know how to give. And that's
so
a shame.
oftentimes-
They're in such a sad place. Because the giving, then you receive more than you could possibly ever give. And
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
peace. That's things people can't take away
That
from
you can't, and
Don't take
oftentimes
it.
you can't quantify.
No.
Sure. Oftentimes you just can't quantify.
Just when you're
what you-
tired and you go to bed at night and you find that you're feel at peace with yourself.
Right, right.
And you can sleep a good night's sleep.
You know, Libby Faulkner was with us last
Oh,
Thursday.
dear
Bill,
Libby.
our sweet, sweet soul, and hearing her talk about the giving, I mean, the incredible joy she gets knowing that someone's been fed or had a roof over their head, even for one night. And it was great reading about SOS and seeing, for instance, for the Caring for Kids at Chains, that you made an effort not to continue to support folks, but to help them get on their way, in a sense. In the same way, hearing Libby talk about the just the
The
experience.
Cycles program they have when you come in there. There's nobody like Libby. There's nobody that needs more than that program, and they're getting it. It's a wonderful gift of a facility.
Oh, yeah.
And support from local churches and local folks, just like
Absolutely.
we have had. And
Right.
I say, go, girl. She is doing a wonderful job. We have a relationship. I admire her as much as anybody else that I've ever met.
And I think that feeling is mutual. Let's get into the what AAF has kicked off earlier this week. You said there was a special, and of course their phone number, if someone wanted to learn more about the Autistic Advocate Foundation.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to be talking about soon, but we'd like to ask those folks that are unemployed who have autism and who would like to work Those people unemployed who have autism would like to work, call 213-0217.
Okay.
We think we might have a job for you, a good one.
Really?
We think we might. We're starting this next week, baby steps. You're starting baby steps. I always thought to get something going, just do it. Just jump in over your head, create a crisis, and then it'll happen. That's what we're doing next week. Next week, we're getting some young adults with autism in leadership into our office at SOS, and we're going to start packaging fair trade coffee. That's coffee that came from someplace where the farmer got some income.
Right.
And we're going to repackage, or we put a label on it, and we're going to sell it locally. And the profit goes toward the autism program. We're also going to have these kids and these young adults assemble products. And we're looking ahead to more assemble products from kits that will be resold. And we're starting that next week. We're looking forward to the Javits Wood program, which is a program nationally where you put together things for the military and for government in little shops, day shops. And we're looking forward maybe to getting that program. We also have an offer of a donation of a greenhouse, a new greenhouse.
Really?
We hope, yes, we do. This all come about in 4 weeks.
No, Bill.
Greenhouse. We just need property for this greenhouse. We're going to, raise vegetables. We're going to raise flowers, and these kids are going to get an opportunity to learn, if they don't already know, how this process.
Now, the greenhouse, for instance, would be not only for children,
only for autistic adults employment, but we're going to share the product with the community, the assembly. All will be. There's a special sheltered workshop that's necessary for autistic folks. They don't have a lot of social skills in a normal job situation. They don't stay long because they can't relate to other people. But we're going to have leadership that knows this, and we're going to help these folks work and help them with their social problem. Because autism is really, truly a matter of not being able to be verbally instructed or learn, and not to be able to be socialized in a normal way. People with autism typically do not do appropriate things real often. That's one reason a dog is very helpful. A child or a young adult acting oddly out in public draws attention, either dismay or why didn't mama take care of them or what's wrong. But with a dog, they're a special individual. They've changed their whole attitude of the public toward them. The dog that will be their partner. And the other thing is, I have a grandchild with autism.
Really, Bill?
Well, it's an epidemic. 1 in 150.
Shared that. And one of the points that Sarah made last week was that 1 in 150, that's more than cancer and diabetes and one other critical, what we think of as a critical birth defect. That's even more than all of them combined.
And 10 years ago, it was the most uncommon thing you ever saw. It's an epidemic. We do not know why.
Right.
But we've got to address these young people coming up, these people like my now 4-year-old granddaughter who developed it. Went to a special preschool. Is doing great. We don't have a special preschool here. It's another one of our projects that's in the back of our mind. We have to have a preschool that's year-round with these kids because they learn in a totally different way. They cannot be mixed in immediately with regular children and what we call typical children and do it. But these kids have potential. We believe that Albert Einstein was autistic.
Really?
So show you, these kids aren't throwaways. They're special people that want a complete life. He's the grand exception, of course. But some of them are savants like he was. He was extraordinary in physics.
Right.
But so we believe he was, and there are a lot of folks. Andy Kaufman, who was on Taxi for a while, who definitely was autistic. So folks can rise. There are people writing books about. Temple Grandin, a wonderful book about animals in translation.
Sarah and I talked about last week, of course, the character from Rain Man, albeit as she made clear, is not common. Not common, but at the same time is at least helping to recognize
people could say that. Oh, that's what an adult is. Yes, that was he was a savant too because he had this extraordinary ability with numbers.
Right.
But these kids are really special. I tell you that they need some special opportunities, and we hope through this employment opportunity. And we're starting now, just starting out with the coffee and with the assembling of products. We hope to go to things like when I go to a box store and buy a piece of furniture, it's in a box. It is a pain to put together, and some people have no time. We bring them to us. Our kids love to put things together. They do it quite well, and our young adults, they'll put it together and bring it back to you. So there's all kinds of opportunities like that, plus the ones I have already mentioned. A consignment shop, of course. But we need various opportunities because the kids have different abilities.
Right.
And so we want to put them all together. And we think we found the leadership for it, a person that can work with all these folks that are not typical. It will never be a typical day in one of our workplaces. I think the community will support what we're doing when they find that these kids are working.
Sure, when they see the extent of the numbers. As Sarah talked about, 137 right now in the recognized in the school system, but surely those numbers are growing, and the age, the time that the folks are recognized is starting a little earlier, hopefully.
Thank goodness, because it makes all the difference.
Yeah.
3 years old or 2 years old, the earlier you intervene, the more they become social and the more they learn.
And at what age was your granddaughter when
She was 3.
Is that right?
She was 3.
When you all determined that?
It was known by us. Being a
Probably
physician,
earlier,
my son was a physician, we knew it, but the diagnosis was finally made, and the intervention that happened was fantastic. She went from a child that never had an eye contact, never spoke a word at 3, to a child at 4 who has 2-word, 3-word sentences, eye contact for 13 seconds, because granddad's kind of those things. Looked at me for 13 seconds.
Right.
And she is leading in her little circle of group in her school a song that she likes. She starts off and leads it.
Wow.
Social interaction, like she never had any. She was totally isolated. And a dog later might help her too. We're working on that. We have a wonderful golden we think might work with her to help her to lead her out into the community, give her security, give her a sense that I've got a buddy.
Right.
I'm not alone.
Sure.
Yeah.
We've just got a couple of minutes, Bill. You know, we think about so much that SOS is doing right now, and obviously y'all are, the tentacles are spread all out. Obviously, caring for kids is one that a lot of folks think of, other than your current support and activities with the AAF. What are some other activities going on right now that viewers would want to learn about?
We have a nurse and a transportation forms person. I mean, they fill out Medicaid and shared care forms for people who are illiterate. Out at Cedar Branch, we have a building out there, a nurse and we transport people to doctors and that sort of thing. But, like this morning, I was doing a physical exam on a lady who has been working hard, a single parent with 3 kids, and now she's getting ready to get her certificate as a nursing assistant. She did a physical exam and a chest x-ray. I did the physical exam for free, and we had one of our local physicians doing the x-ray for free. And now she'll be ready to have a decent job as a nursing assistant with a goal of being an RN. So that's the kind of thing. We intervene with people who have children to try to give them a lift up, push up, or help up. And
urgent dental programs, another one that I saw about in your newsletter, and seeing about Dr. Wallen and so many others that are really giving up time and efforts to make support for just folks that are underprivileged, clearly.
Nominal income, get just enough to cover their costs. We are taking care of 100 to 150 urgent dental problems a year that are painful. They have to be painful and urgent, and 150 of them each year are being taken care of.
Wow.
And we're blessed by an endowment through the Wallen Foundation that covers the cost. That's the only endowment we have. Most time we spend the money before we get it. And God has blessed us with a lot of folks supporting us. I do not want to leave out United Way because they've just finished up their campaign.
Very successful campaign.
What a wonderful...
And had some overage even, so hopefully an opportunity to tap that a little bit. And of course, seeing what the Chapin Foundation had done for y'all for 2007. I think I saw $43,000, which is tremendous.
Caring for Kids program and our medical support program was completely completed by that for this coming year by a Chapin grant. One of about 15 Chapin grants that are totaling about $500,000 over a 17-year period. This community with Chapin and Ocean View gave us grants every year up to $40,000 a year for so many years. And the Knight Foundation that we have locally.
Yes.
The other one is Sisters of Charity of South Carolina have allowed us to start the Children's Center after we got a local business, Anchor Bank, to give us $300,000 to build a building when they went out of business. It was just a marvelous story. I mean, people, I sometimes feel like I've got a tiger by the tail holding on and hope I won't fall off. That's the way I feel. But now I feel more like I'm running downhill with 100 people behind me. They think I know where we're going, and if I let them run over me, we're all all lost. So I'm running faster and faster trying to get people from running over me. But God provides. I'm blessed with not being run over as yet by anybody.
As yet. Let's pray not anytime soon. Thanks so much for being with us this morning, Dr. Davis.
My blessing.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Dr. Bill Davis. Simply goes by Bill. Coming up next. It's so special to hear someone talk about in one interview, a mother, a wife, a granddaughter. Think about over that 45 years in this special marriage to his wife, Elaine, what all's happened. They moved down here. Obviously, they've had 3 children. Moved down here in 71, kicked off a practice, wrapped it up in 89, his urology practice, and instead took a big leap of faith. The opportunity introduced a desire to care for others by a friend, Mr. Llewellyn. And think about those experiences from 89 forward. SOS Healthcare kicking off, growing every day. Thanks to so many volunteers. You heard Bill talk about it. He's running down that hill with a lot of folks behind him, hoping he doesn't get run over, because a lot of folks are following his lead. It's a handout rather than a hand up with something they were worried about. But now they're searching for making sure a hand up is the way it's pushing forward. Caring for kids is a critical operation. The phone number's simple for SOS Healthcare, 449-0554. That's 843-449-0554. But you heard Bill talking about AAF and an opportunity for adults with autism. Think of that simple number. It just kicked off this week. It's critical. Call 843-213-0217. Bill Davis, making a difference every day. Give him a call.